All over the Rio Grande Valley. Carl Henderson is here. Sergio Sanchez will be joining us just a little bit. Kennedy's hopes to show up a little bit later on. But before we get to anything, we've got to start with the news at the top of the hour with a very busy man. The Cameron County Judge Carlos Cascos joins us. The announcement today was that SpaceX will be launching from the site at Boca Chica Beach. How are you, Judge?
May the force be with you, guy.
Pretty much. Yeah, we're hip deep in nerds over here. I don't know. This is
to answer your question, yes, the announcement really came down today. Everyone in the community is deservedly so is very happy and long in waiting.
Well, we talked with Dr. Garcia at University of Texas Brownsville. It would seem that the link between rocket scientists, literally, and a physics program at UT Brownsville, and just the physicality of it to young boys and girls would be very attractive in promoting people studying physics and all that kind of stuff. But what's it mean to Cameron County?
Well, what it does, it opens up from the educational side. Obviously, it opens up opportunities that were not there before. In terms of Cameron County and South Texas, what I believe it's going to do is basically changing the economic and educational landscape of this community as we've grown to know it. So
that's a pretty big deal.
This is a huge deal. I mean, a lot of other areas were competing for this. It's like everybody put on their best suit and went to the prom and we were fortunate enough to put some packages together that were attractive to SpaceX. And ultimately we prevailed. And what I said this afternoon at the press conference is just amazing what a community can do when they work together, when they go in the same direction. We have one common goal, without inter-arguing and inter-debating.
Yeah.
So the potentials are there. We've seen it with the university system. We've seen it now with SpaceX. And what we've done is we've proven, at least on 2 occasions, that working together benefits everyone.
Judge Carlos, this is Carl Henderson. I was just wondering if you could kind of recap some of the things that Cameron County did to sweeten the pot in order to get SpaceX down here.
Well, Cameron County, did not work alone. I mean, obviously, the big driving force here was Austin and Governor Perry. With his vision, and there's not a political soundbite for him, but I mean, really, you give credit where credit is due, and he's the one that pushed and spearheaded and made this happen. We did our thing too in terms of negotiating and lobbying with the General Land Office, working with our state legislators, because we had to overcome something that was, had this not happened, this would be a moot point. And that was changing law and giving us the ability to close down our beaches for 12 times a year, 15 hours a time, for private enterprise. And before, the only time we could only close our beaches was during disasters or hurricanes or threats. So that was a big endeavor. The economic package that was offered by the state of Texas and the local BEDC and obviously played a part, but we could have been outbid by another location. But again, I mean, we had a lot of community support. We had the public hearing. We literally had hundreds of people speaking in favor of it and writing in favor of this. So we did everything from our end that we needed to do in order to make this location the best location for SpaceX.
What do you think, or do you know, won the prize? Was there any one thing, or do they tell you we're doing this because of X, or you see what I'm getting at?
No, I mean, I don't think there was any one thing, and I don't think any one group is taking credit for bringing it. I think it was a true partnership, whether it's at the educational level, at the economic development arena. It was the community. So there was a lot of components to making this happen. And all I can say is, I congratulate the community for getting behind it. And of course, you've always got some folks that have some concerns, but this was a challenge, and this is probably if not the biggest thing that's happened in South Texas, at least during my lifetime. I can't think of any other initiative that is going to have the impact that we anticipate this endeavor is going to have.
Judge Carlos, this is Carl Henderson, and one of the things we were talking about here in studio is that the Boca Chica area is at sea level, and we were wondering about the implications or some of the things that could be complications to that site with hurricanes coming in and storm surges and things like that. And was that in the mix? Was that one of the things? And are they preparing to raise the location, or do you know anything more about that?
No, I mean, I would assume that they're good. I mean, that they've done their due diligence, and I'm sure that they've looked at the landscape. I think they've looked at modules because we look at it when in terms of preparing for hurricanes.
Hmm.
We know what a 12-foot storm surge will do, what a 20-foot storm surge will do, and I'm sure they looked at that and they're going to factor that in when they're doing construction. I mean, if they don't, then they have other issues. But I'm sure that they did because we are in an area that is subject to hurricanes, and they're going to be they're going to be right on the coast basically. So any storm surge higher than 12 to 15 feet could pose a threat. But I'm sure that they've looked at that.
And we also have a very good location for launching out over the ocean, where if that thing comes down somewhere, at least likely to present some legal problems for them as well, right?
Well, again, that's their responsibility. Obviously, we've looked at that as well, but this isn't their first rodeo, and I'm sure that they're doing everything that's necessary to mitigate that.
Are you aware of the fact that they were been talking about doing as many as 12 launches a year, and then perhaps more than that?
Well, I don't believe they can do more. I think that the 12 is what we've got written into the agreements. The agreements are that they wouldn't launch during certain holiday times, and where people really go out to Boca Chica Beach. So yeah, it's 12 launches, and to close the beaches down for 15 hours from beginning to end, and that gives us the opportunity to sweep and make sure that everyone is out of a certain perimeter, obviously for public safety reasons. So those are some of the agreements that we're working with to kind of bring to an end with SpaceX.
How large is the facility that they have now for at SpaceX? How many acres are we talking at this point?
I really don't know. What we're hearing is that the amount of investment is upwards of 75 to 85 million dollars in
Right.
investment. We're looking at numbers right now in terms of working on tax abatement agreements, and we're looking at what the potential job creation is going to be directly by SpaceX. It is kind of hard to quantify,
Hmm.
what the total job creation market is going to be until we see what other entities or other agencies or companies are going to be willing to follow SpaceX. But we think that what we talked about today was this is just the beginning. I mean, again, this opens up a lot of opportunities for South Texas, and this is going to impact the whole valley in terms of where are people going to live and where they're going to shop. So this is a win-win for everyone.
It's a good point that you made there, Judge. The collateral industry that will be built up around this. Some of the numbers that we were hearing of just 300 people being used, and it just seems ridiculously low for an endeavor of this size. And but at this point, Cameron County doesn't know exactly how much land has been set aside initially for this SpaceX project.
Well, the reason that we don't know is because they are acquiring land on their own. So unless someone go looks at the deed records and finds
Hmm.
out, and exactly, I mean, but we're not in that business to see how much land that they have to buy, or what they need. They're out there basically negotiating with private landowners,
Yeah.
for acquisition of land. So, I mean, at the end, we don't need to know today.
So so
At
so
the end, we'll know.
Cameron County is not directly involved in that process at this point. It's them with local landowners.
For the most part, yeah, we did have some parcels that were out there that through decades of foreclosure that have been sitting out there idle. We did have some of that. I mean, it wasn't a significant part that they bought, but it was like I said, it wasn't a lot of money. Because keep in mind that this is basically very very arid land. It's there's nothing out there but jackrabbits and and some cattle. and and probably some other type of species. But really, it's the land has very very little value.
Last question, Judge. Last I heard, there was no water line that took drinking water to people out there. The people at Copernic Shores, I think, have trucked it out there forever. What's the story?
I didn't hear anything. I have some music playing in the background.
Oh, is there water? Is there a water line that runs out or will run out to the launch site?
Not that I know of. I mean, we still take water to a little community that's out there known as Copernic Shores.
Yeah.
Because there are no water lines, and that's part of the infrastructure that will be developed in terms of that. That's why the permits they got were for solar panels. So I imagine they're going to do some solar energy for now. What's the long range plan? Again, we haven't seen any schematics or any designs. So I imagine they're going to work all that out.
All right, Judge Carlos Cascos, thank you for your time this afternoon. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank y'all, too.
Yes, sir. Carlos Cascos is the county judge in Cameron County. You're listening to Carl Henderson, Davis Rankin, soon to be joined by Sergio Sanchez here on 710 KORV, The Drive Home.